Hello, and this is an introduction to Clinical Neurophysiology Fellowship at the University of Rochester. I am Trent Tollefson. I am the Program Director of the Clinical Neurophysiology Fellowship. And these are some of our faculty. This is the group of EEG faculty that you would be working with. And these are some of the EMG faculty that you would be working with in this fellowship. So our fellowship offers two one-year fellowship positions each year. One position is split 50-50 between EMG neuromuscular and EEG epilepsy. The second position is weighted more towards epilepsy, with only 20% of the time in EMG neuromuscular. Many fellows who complete the 80-20% track will also go on to do an additional year in epilepsy fellowship. If that is of interest to you, please let us know so we can talk more about that. The applications are done through ERAS, as you know, and should include 3 letters of recommendation, a CV, board results, and a personal statement. One of the advantages of our fellowship is that our curriculum can be rather flexible. The default curriculum is, as we've discussed, split between EMG neuromuscular and EEG epilepsy. There are other educational experiences that we can figure out a way to work into the curriculum, including using botulinum toxin, evoked potentials, intraoperative monitoring. We've had fellows in the past rotate in sleep medicine. It really depends on what your career goals are. We provide time in the curriculum to pursue a research project, and so that is something that we should talk about at the beginning of the year to begin making plans for. There are 20 vacation days per year, and additional time may also be provided for presentation at national meetings, particularly if for the fellows if they are presenting their work. So a typical day in EEG or EMG involves fairly routine hours, usually done by mid-afternoon. In the EMG lab, the fellow will perform 2 studies per half day, so 4 total for the whole day. In the EEG lab, our fellows will read approximately 10 studies per half day. It depends on the number of studies ordered that day. Residents rotate on both the EEG and EMG services, and so our fellows have the opportunity to teach our residents. And there is some time spent in outpatient clinic, seeing patients either with epilepsy or with neuromuscular disorders. That is approximately 1 half day per week, and is staffed by faculty across the various disciplines. The only call coverage in this fellowship is shared with the epilepsy fellows, covering after hours clinic call coverage, and that is approximately 1 week of coverage per month, and averages about 8 clinic calls per week. Some of the didactics and conferences that we have in EMG, there are daily sign-out rounds. And so after the day of EMG is over, the attending will review instructive cases and illustrate some teaching points related to the cases that were seen that day. We have our neurology department grand rounds on Wednesdays at noon. and that can be attended live or virtually. We have our neuromuscular EMG conference that runs from either 10 to noon or 11 to noon on Fridays. And then we have our epilepsy EEG conference that runs from 12 to 1 on Fridays. We also have journal clubs, both in the epilepsy division and in the neuromuscular EMG division. And so our fellows attend the epilepsy journal clubs with the epilepsy fellows and attend the EMG neuromuscular journal clubs with the neuromuscular fellows. And journal clubs historically over the last few years have been a hybrid format. Some of them have been in person, some of them have been virtual. So again, the vacation time is 20 days vacation, and then there are 9 university holidays. We do not have our fellows come in to do EEGs or EMGs on the university holidays. The fellows may be allotted up to 5 days of educational leave to attend conferences or to sit for boards or job interview. And our fellows receive a $1,000 educational allowance that can be used to further education in the neuromuscular or epilepsy field. This is the fellowship training site, Strong Memorial Hospital. And so what is fantastic about living in Rochester? So we really get a good representation of all 4 seasons in Rochester. So the weather is never boring. There are a lot of great attractions very close to Rochester. So this is Niagara Falls, just about an hour and 15-minute drive or so from Rochester. We're right in the middle of the Finger Lakes region, so a very short drive to some beautiful lake country, great wineries, breweries, restaurants, a lot of great state parks. Letchworth State Park, Letchworth is also known as the Grand Canyon of the East. The Adirondacks are just a couple-hour drive away. We have great museums like the National Museum of Play, and sports, Rochester Red Wings, the Rochester Americans, which is a hockey team, and then the Buffalo Bills are just a short drive away as well. A lot of outdoor activities, so we have ample opportunities for skiing, a lot of great local breweries and wineries, a lot of great festivals. Especially in the summertime, it feels like there's a festival going on every week. Some opportunities to attend concerts. So concerts, we have a couple of nearby local venues that will host nationally known acts. Theater, so we have, this is the Jiva Theater in Rochester. The zoo, Memorial Art Gallery, the Erie Canal Trail, great for bicycling, or you can get a kayak in the canal. And this is the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra, which is a really fantastic orchestra that plays downtown. And then, of course, Wegmans, one of Rochester's claims to fame. And Rochester is just a beautiful city. A lot of trees, a lot of foliage, just a really picturesque city. And so that's just a brief overview of our fellowship and of Rochester. And so please let us know if you have any questions.